Which principles from martial arts would you say influenced your business life the most?
I could spend days talking about how martial art has influenced my life and my business as an entrepreneur, as a human being. Obviously, I am a practitioner of Jeet Kune Do, Bruce Lee's martial art. So no doubt that Bruce Lee's philosophy has a profound impact in my life, in my thinking. So I'll just share some with you. One of the key philosophies that I have learned from Bruce Lee is the water principle. If you remember, I'll see if I can act it out. Be formless, shapeless, like water. You put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend, if you remember that from the Lost interview that he did. And so, very much so, I believe now you look at, especially now during the crisis, a lot of companies that have been around for a long time, that in fact in Vancouver, a company that's been around over 100 years just went bankrupt. So it's no longer the biggest that survives or the strongest that survives or even the most intelligent. It is the companies, the businesses that are the most adaptable to change. So very much like the water principle, that we need to be able to be adaptable, be flexible, to be able to change something that is not working to something that works. Just because something that works in the past doesn't mean it works today. Just because something that works today doesn't mean it works tomorrow. So I believe even in my business career that many times that I have had to let go of something that's working, not letting go of something that's not working, but something that is kind of working, but then to let that go and say, no, we are going to change, we're going to adapt, we're going to reinvent and go to do something else, right? One of the key questions I ask all entrepreneurs, something that you should ask yourself is this: what could put you out of business? What could put you out of business? And then you want to predict that thing, and then you want to be the one that put yourself out of business to break the existing model that you have, and then you innovate and go from there, versus waiting for someone to disrupt your business and your industry. You disrupt your own business. So that would be the first philosophy, be water. The second one is also from Jeet Kune Do, which is using no way as the way and having no limitation as limitation. And then first, when I learned about this, well, what does Bruce mean, like using no way as the way? It means that you're not restricted in terms of your thinking. You look at most business owners, most people, right? They operate in a certain industry, they operate in a certain way. They have what I call a tunnel vision. This is how they see it. Well, that's the way that everybody does it, right? Right? It's like in martial art, no, everybody does it a certain way, right? You have karate, you have taekwondo, you have boxing, but now, of course, a lot of the mixed martial arts philosophies are like that you learn from boxing, that you learn from kickboxing, you learn from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you learn from wrestling. You take the best from different arts and then you combine them, you digest it, internalize it. And I think business is the same way. Just because someone is doing business or conducting business a certain way, marketing a certain way, doesn't mean you have to do it because that's the way that everybody does it in your industry. And having no limitation in your thinking, having no limitation as the limitation, I think that is also ties to thinking bigger, thinking grander, thinking further. That had a huge impact in my life as well. And I think the last philosophy that has the most impact in my life is the concept of martial art is a way of expressing yourself, right? Bruce talks about it's very hard to do, how to express yourself. And I think business is the same way. So in martial art, you're not actually competing with other people, you're competing with yourself. One of the key things I've learned from my martial art instructor, my Sifu, is he said, Dan, martial art, it is a process, a never-ending process of eliminating self-defect. You're not competing with anybody else but yourself. You're not trying to say, I'm bigger than you, I'm stronger than you, I could hit harder than you. It is truly a self-discovery process. So I think business is very much the same way. I always say that the definition of an entrepreneur is it is an artist in commerce, right? We are expressing our ideas, our creativities, our innovations through a business vehicle. That's all that is. So you think about where Disney, it is very much an expression of Walt Disney. You think about Apple, it is an expression of Steve Jobs. You think about Tesla, it is expression of Elon Musk, right? Amazon, same thing, right? An expression of Jeff. So you think about these things, no different than what I do. My business and extension is an expression of me, right? So I think using that martial art philosophies in business, I think it's the same thing. That is the business and you, they're very much interconnected. That you are expressing your ideas, your philosophies through building something, taking an idea, taking a need in the marketplace and creating something, a product, a service, a vehicle, a business, go out there in the marketplace and fulfill that need that's not being fulfilled by other people. So those would be the three, I think, big philosophies that how martial art has influenced my life. If you have any other questions, now we are back in Boss, in the Bentley. Nice to see businesses slowly opening up and more people walking down the street and being active. So it's nice to see that. Any questions, comment below. And if this is the first time you are watching my video, don't forget, hit the subscribe button and give us a like as well. Until then, I'll see you in my Bentley.